The richest rapper. How many cars does Snoop Dogg have? Stay tuned and learn more about the lives of rich people. Hello dear friends. Snoop Dogg was born in Long Beach, California on October 20, 1971. His parents are Vernal Varnado and Beverly Broadus Vernol. Calvin's father, a Vietnam veteran and musician, abandoned his family 3 months after Calvin was born. Calvin was named after his stepfather, Calvin Cordozar Brodus Sr. Calvin was nicknamed Snoopy by his parents after the Peanuts cartoon character. His mother and stepfather divorced when he was 4 years old. As a child, he loved to sing and play the piano. In 6th grade, he started rapping. He was arrested for drug possession and spent a significant amount of time in jail after his release. Snoop began his music career by making handmade cassettes with his family under the alias 213. Snoop Dogg net worth in 2022. Snoop Dogg's net worth is expected to reach $150 million in 2022. He's one of the richest rappers in the world with a net worth of $150 million. Let's take a look at Snoop's past and the lessons we can learn from his accomplishments. Snoop's music was first his main source of income. Through record sales and live performances, he accumulated huge sums of money. Over time, he broadened his horizons and his commercial ventures now make up the bulk of his income. Snoop has successfully reinvented himself several times and has established himself as a commercial powerhouse. Look in the mirror. Snoop was on top of the world, having just published Doggy Style and becoming a fan favorite. Everything was going according to plan. But knowing what had happened to these label mates, he was worried about his own safety. Snoop was able to reflect on his situation and realize that this was not the life he desired. It's vital that you keep checking yourself now that he's worth millions. Instead of pointing your finger, try pointing your thumb and asking yourself if you are happy with the way your life is going. If not, make the necessary adjustments immediately to improve your future prospects. Make yourself a jack of all trades. Snoop has a lot on his plate in entertainment and business, so he's a jack of all trades. He doesn't need to be the master of them all to make money from them financially. When you begin your journey to success, it's vital to have as many assets as possible. His personal life. On June 12, 1997, Snoop got married. Shante Taylor, his high school sweetheart. He filed for divorce from Taylor on May 21, 2004, citing irreconcilable differences. On January 12, 2008, the couple renewed their wedding vows. Cody, born August 21, 1994, and Cordell, born February 21, 1997, are their 3 children, both boys who gave up athletics to pursue careers as film directors. Corey, their daughter, born June 22, 1999. Julian Corey Broadus is Snoop's child from a previous relationship with Lori Helmond, born 1998. R&B performers Brandy and Ray J and WWE professional wrestler Sasha Banks are his cousins. Snoop became a grandfather in 2015 when his eldest son Cordy Broadus and his wife Jessica Kaiser had their first child. Kai, Cordy's second son, died 10 days after his birth on September 25, 2019. Snoop Dogg has been described as a cannabis user since the beginning of his career, which has given him one of the defining traits of his image. In 2002, he stated that he would never use cannabis again. It didn't take long, as in Adam Sandler's 2004 film First Date, and by 2013, he claimed to be smoking about 80 joints every day. He was approved as medical cannabis for the treatment of migraines in California, at least in 2007. Snoop said in a 2006 interview with Rolling Stone magazine that unlike other hip-hop artists who superficially adopted the image of a pimp, he was a real professional pimp. This nonsense was my natural calling, and once I got into it, it became enjoyable. He said in 2003 and 2004, it felt like I was making trays for myself. I used to do that all of the time. He also said he eventually stopped pimping after several pimps he knew advised him to do it so he could spend more time with his family. What does Snoop Dogg do with his money? Snoop Dogg's wealth has certainly allowed him to purchase beautiful real estate. Snoop Dogg likes to drive powerful cars. Because he prefers vintage cars, his car collection is unique. Dogg has a 1967 Pontiac Verizon convertible, which is part of his bizarre car collection of more than 25 cars. His yellow Pontiac was made especially for him. The Pontiac has a V8 engine and boasts a 2-speed automatic transmission. Snoop's 1967 Cadillac is another one-of-a-kind car collection. Snoop Dogg is a real workaholic. He's not only a rapper, songwriter, and producer, but also an actor, host, director, coach, entrepreneur, and winemaker. Dogg tries to keep everything under control and not to stop. We think you can tell by the lyrics of his tracks. Snoop is a man of contradictions. He tries not to admit, but often wears fur, does not identify himself with a particular religion, but was both a Christian and an adherent of Islam, and a supporter of Rastafarianism. The one thing Dogg has been faithful to all his life is cars. One of his rules of life: if I feel like a bird while driving, I'm obligated to buy that car. Judging by his collection of cars, he had to fly quite often. We suggest you to get acquainted with it closer. We assure you that you will be surprised by the rapper's favorites. Pontiac Parisian Lakers Edition 1966. This model no longer belongs to the musician. In 2006, Dogg gave it to Kobe Bryant. The car, whose design is dedicated to the Lakers team, is decorated with portraits of the great basketball players. The hood shows Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bryant himself. In addition, Snoop put himself on the car because he has been a Lakers fan for years. 1967 Cadillac DeVille Brown Sugar. Cadillac DeVille is considered a symbol of hip-hop culture. The model in the brown shade is decorated with portraits of Dogg's sons, as well as a huge rapper's logo. They put the inscription on the hood. The interior of the car is made of dog leather and supplemented by light, which resemble Victorian chandeliers. The car was even exhibited at the Henry Ford Museum in Detroit. But it is not the credit for Snoop, but customized a big slice. He modified almost all models of the rapper. 1968 Buick Riviera. Dogg has two versions of the Buick Riviera. This one, for example, was released in 1968. The blue-colored model, equipped with pink wheels, appeared in a Vato music video. Fans definitely remember this car. In the video, it was decorated with portraits of Snoop's wife and daughter and the phrases "Me and my girls" and "Dogg's angels." 1968 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Another iconic Cadillac in the rapper's collection is a white model featuring a portrait of Snoop Dogg. The artist's face was framed with the phrase "My first ministry." In addition, quotes from the Bible and Christian prayers were printed on the car. If you want to know more about Snoop's car collection, write in the comments. More recently, Earth, next door to Snoop Dogg, sold for $458,000 in sand tokens. The Sandbox meta-universe has sold a virtual plot of land next door to rapper Snoop Dogg. The deal was made on the OpenSea marketplace, with the buyer paying $458,000 for the land, 70,900 sand tokens. Rapper Snoop Dogg reacted to the purchase on the site on Twitter. In early December, the project The Sandbox put up for sale 122 regular and 67 elite virtual plots of land in the neighborhood of rapper Snoop Dogg. The value of all these plots is estimated at 437,000 sand tokens. Watch. American rapper, media personality and entrepreneur Snoop Dogg, 48, his real name is Calvin Cordozar Brodus Sr, wears a 41mm Rolex Day-Date 2 in 18-karat yellow gold with a diamond-paved dial, priced at $46,000. Album sales. Snoop Dogg has sold more than 35 million albums worldwide, including more than 23 million in the United States. Snoop Dogg's songs have reached the top 10 11 times. None of his 18 studio albums surpassed the popularity of his first, Doggy Style, which sold 10 million copies and took the spot in 1993. The developing artist released two more #1 albums, Dogfather in 1996 and The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told in 1998, sold 7.5 and 9 million copies each. Snoop Dogg's next 5 albums sold at least 1.5 million copies each, over the next 10 years, though he hasn't topped the charts since 1998. In 2009, Snoop's album sales began to drop. Malice in Wonderland sold only 750,000 copies. Documentary sold 60,000 copies in 2011, and Reincarnated sold 110,000 copies in 2013. Snoop's album sales rose again in 2015 when Bush sold 250,000 copies. His last CD, From the Streets to the Suites, was released in 2021. Do you feel that gangsta style?